See, one of our nice representatives out here wants to actually, I guess, continue to flood the country with illegal immigrants.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Shut the fuck up. Thank you.
Have been offered voluntary buyouts to resign from their jobs.
They didn't. Those bastards. $25,000. Fucking sign me up.
Transgender animal surgery. Why are American tax dollars being spent on this?
Transgender animal surgeries? What the fuck?
As the Trump administration continues efforts to scale back the federal workforce, we've learned employees within the Department of Health and Human Services have been offered voluntary buyouts to resign from their jobs. Now, according to an
They didn't. Those bastards. Offering $25,000. Wait. Well, fucking sign me up. Go get another job. Take the money. Obviously, your current job isn't very useful.
Now, according to an administration official, each of the 80,000 employees at the department was sent an unsigned email on Friday offering them as much as $25,000 to resign from their jobs by 5 p.m. this Friday, March 14th. The offer comes just days after President Trump told his cabinet secretaries to make cuts to their departments, clarifying that they, not Elon Musk or DOGE, are in charge of making staffing decisions.
Mika, how fascinating that this happened over the weekend. This happened, and here you have a department doing it again instead of Elon Musk. That's a pretty dramatic change.
That is a
fascinating. I cannot stand that guy's voice. But it sounds like they're whining because they didn't get to do it. They wanted to be the ones to do it. But kind of sounds like what they're saying.
That's a pretty dramatic change.
That is a shift, except maybe there's a little bit of confusion now for people who are getting different messages. And we're now learning that there are new details on that contentious meeting of cabinet secretaries. Two people familiar with the exchanges told NBC News some of the cabinet secretaries challenged Elon Musk over DOGE's approach to cuts in their department, specifically Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, both pushing back on Musk for firing their employees without any consideration as to whether letting them go was a good idea in terms of maintaining quality and critical staff. The meeting was a potential turning point after the frenetic first weeks of Mr. Trump's second term. It yielded the first significant indication that Mr. Trump was willing to put some limits on Mr. Musk, whose efforts have become the subject of several lawsuits and prompted concerns from Republican lawmakers, some of whom have complained directly to the president. A spokesperson for the State Department did not respond to a request for comment from NBC News, while a White House official said there was no complaining and called the meeting an open and positive discussion. On Friday, NBC's Gabe Gutierrez asked the president about the reported clash.
Mr. President, since you last spoke about it yesterday, some details have come out about your cabinet meeting with Elon Musk and some clashes potentially between Secretary Rubio and Secretary Duffy.
No clash. I was there. You're just a troublemaker. And you're not supposed to be asking that question because we're talking about the World Cup. But Elon gets along great with Marco, and they're both doing a fantastic job. There is no clash.
But, Mr. President, bottom line,
who are you with?
NBC.
No wonder.
Mr. President,
NBC.
Who has more authority, Elon Musk or your cabinet secretaries?
Any other questions? They're both great guys, and by the way, they both get along fantastically well. Marco has done unbelievably as Secretary of State, and Elon is a very unique guy who's done a fantastic job.
Is it really that difficult to accept that maybe there's no clash? Maybe things are fine. Maybe everyone doesn't like what's going on. The Democratic Party doesn't like it because they're not the ones that get to take credit for it. That's all that is. They don't care about anything else. That's it. They don't get the credit. So they're going to bitch and whine and complain the entire time because they don't get to take all the credit. That's all that party cares about is pats on the back, taking credit, and bitching about Trump.
Elon is a very unique guy who's done a fantastic job.
I like talking about the World Cup.
I mean,
make no mistake, it's come to the United States. I'm very excited about it. But reporters don't have to just talk about the World Cup.
No.
So Gabe Gutierrez is asking the right questions there for NBC.
Yeah.
So Jonathan Swan and Maggie Haberman came up with this just explosive reporting a couple of days ago, which NBC confirmed. But it wasn't like it wasn't all kind of, smiles and laughs and daffodils inside that meeting. You had Marco at one point, Secretary of State, at one point saying to Elon, "Oh, okay, so the 1,500 people that have already taken early retirement, would you like me to hire them back, Elon, so you can fire them for show?"
Just in case you were wondering, guys, it was not smiles, laughs, and daffodils. There definitely wasn't any daffodils going on. Okay? So stop screwing around. Okay, now let's jump into an interview with Elon Musk directly, talking about what's being worked on, how the progress is, if there's any controversy going on. Let's jump into that video.
All right, we welcome to the show and a special interview with Mr. Elon Musk, who, of course, is famed Trump advisor, CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, chair of X Corp. Elon, thank you for doing this. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
I want to begin, but among other things, everyone's attacking you for your position. What are you doing in the government? There was a cyber attack on X today, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced.
Yes.
It's a big story. You want to give us a moment on that?
Not just attacks on Elon Musk and his brands. They're literally blowing up Teslas by throwing bombs at these Teslas or lighting them on fire or something along those lines. Like, these people are psychotic. And you know what's hilarious is they've done nothing but call Trump and all of Trump's supporters violent bigots. And they've done nothing but cause violence. They are such a violent, whiny, bitchy, moany party. And they're hypocrites. They're the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen. And they're so childish.
You want to give us a moment on that?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
Oh, well, so that's your suspicion. Is the website, is the internet up? Is it up yet?
It's up, yeah.
It's up yet. Okay, good. But I just was looking back. Let me see if I get this right. They're setting fire to various Tesla charging stations near Boston. Shots were fired at a Tesla dealership in Oregon. Various nonviolent...
Shots fired, not a metaphor.
Shots fired, yes. Downtown New York, marching against the Tesla showroom. Your stock is way down. You've been criticized left and right.
But look on the bright side.
I mean, why are you doing this?
Always look on the bright side of life.
Yes. I'm an optimist. Yeah.
But besides that,
yes. I mean,
how's your day?
What motivates you to do this?
Was the opera good?
It's tough sledding.
Yeah, it is tough sledding.
Look at the shit this guy's going through just for helping Trump, and in that regards, helping the country try to save us from bankruptcy. Look how he's treated. It's mind-boggling. And from this party that tries to pretend they're so perfect and they're not violent, it's fucking mind-boggling.
But I think we're doing the right thing here. There's been a tremendous amount of waste and fraud in the government. When you're part of the government, you saw a lot of that, and there's been if you look at the Inspector General reports and the Government Accountability Office, there have been many audits that have pointed out that there's a tremendous amount of waste and fraud in the government. In fact, there was a report issued by the GAO, the Government Accountability Office, last year. So during the Biden administration, which estimated the federal government fraud to be $500 billion. So just because that's not a Trump administration thing, that's a Biden administration thing. So what we're trying to do is get that number down to a much smaller figure, save money for the American taxpayer, stop money being spent on things that I think very few taxpayers would agree make sense. Transgender animal surgeries, or why are we spending money? Why are American tax dollars being spent on this?
Did he just say fucking transgender animal surgeries? What the fuck? Transgender animal surgeries, or why are we spending money? Why are American tax dollars being spent on this? The president's gone through a long list of absurd things. Why are the 20 million people who are definitely dead marked as alive in the Social Security database? Why were hundreds of millions of dollars of Small Business Administration loans were given out to people aged 11 and under, according to the Social Security? I mean, like, these must be some very enterprising 8-year-olds,
And some pretty strong 150-year-olds.
Yes, exactly. As the president said, we have an enormous number of people marked as alive who are 160. He didn't know the country was that healthy.
Yes. So demystify this. How do you do it? Okay. How big is your team?
Yeah.
Where'd you recruit most of them from? And what is it that makes you choose, the Treasury or Social Security or USAID? How does it work? Let the public know, please.
Right. Well, we just basically follow the money. We look at the president's executive orders, and we also just follow the money. So we started looking closely at USAID because they were completely violating the president's executive orders to suspend foreign aid, what's called foreign aid, but in our view is a lot of corruption.
Yeah, it's real important that we support transgender animal surgeries in other countries, guys. Got to cut those wieners off. We don't want them breeding over there, and we want to make sure that they feel appreciated.
Refer to ourselves as tech support. We're really helping the department get a handle on things, because what actually happens here is you've got this sort of vast federal bureaucracy, and then you've got a very thin layer on top of the politically appointed officials, and what tends to happen is that the bureaucracy, frankly, is in control. And they largely ignore the politically appointed people.
Why should the bureaucracy?
I'm sure you must have seen that.
I've lived with this twice. I worked for Reagan many years ago, and I worked for Trump in the first term.
Yeah.
It's like a permanent bureaucracy. I might add, it's a permanently liberal bureaucracy.
Yes, very much so.
And it's not a bureaucracy that necessarily enforces or implements presidential policy.
They don't. In fact, they try their best to thwart presidential policy. So the president is the elected representative of the people. And if the president cannot get things implemented as a reflection of the will of the people, then what we have is not a democracy, we have a bureaucracy. We have rule of the bureau, not rule of the people. And that's what we're trying to defeat here is the bureaucracy and have rule of the people.
Wait, I'm sorry, did he just say he's trying to have a democracy, support a democracy for the people? Doesn't that kind of contradict what they've been saying in these networks for I don't know how long? That Trump wants to be this tyrant. He wants to be king. He wants to take over the world. It doesn't really sound like it. You fucks.
And as you mentioned, the bureaucracy is overwhelmingly Democrat. So Washington, D.C., was 92.5%, I believe, voted for Kamala. So this is overwhelmingly a deep blue situation.
How do you pick your next targeted agency or department?
Well, we're trying to act broadly across all departments, so it's not just one department at a time.
Are you in all of them now? All of them?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes. Oh.
We're trying to make the government more efficient across the board. So yeah.
How big's your team?
We're a little over 100 at this point.
100.
Get to 200.
You're going to get to 200.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're recruiting from where? More or less.
Basically, it's software people, information security software people, and finance. It's basically, finance and technology. I mean, frankly, I can't believe I'm here doing this. It's kind of bizarre, but I kind of think that we've got this enormous federal budget deficit, and it's a $2 trillion deficit. It keeps growing. Our interest payments are higher than our Defense Department budget. That's I think was the real wake-up call for me, was looking at seeing that the interest payments on national debt exceeded the Defense Department budget, and that was only growing over time, which meant if we didn't do something about this, then there won't be any money for anything. We'll just be servicing debt.
And you know how to read an income statement, and you know how to read a balance sheet. You've had some business experience. I'm kidding, but you know about this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, really, I just don't want America to go bankrupt.
So it's a call to action. You're hearing a call to action.
Yeah.
You giving up your other stuff? I mean, how are you running your other businesses?
With great difficulty. Yeah, I mean.
But there's no turning back, you're saying?
I'm just here trying to make government more efficient, eliminate waste and fraud, and so far we're making good progress, actually. So our savings at this point exceed $4 billion a day. Mm-hmm. So it's very significant.
You think you'll wind up getting to $1 trillion?
Yeah.
Of savings?
I mean, unless we're stopped, we will get to $1 trillion of savings.
Business is his everything, his reputation, it's putting his family at risk, and yet he's being painted as this horrible monster. So maybe the Democratic Party should stop wasting money on fucking transgender operas and transgender animal surgeries and wake the fuck up.